Welcome to Local Gods. My name is Marco Liu.
And I'm James Hahn.
And today we have the true honor of having Chef Lord Maynard Llera of Kuya Lord here at the podcast. Chef, I have to ask, so with your name, Lord Maynard, is that a hereditary title? Does your family own lands and castles in the Philippines? Like, how did Lord Maynard come about?
That's one question that you cannot ask.
What?
I forgot to tell you.
You have so there's a secret behind the name.
No, it's not a secret. It's just like, that's the reason why I introduced myself here in America as Maynard. Because most friends and relatives in the Philippines, they call me Lord. It's just like, that's my first name.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't a title like Mr.
It is not a title. But yeah, I grew up, I grew up with nannies. We have cooks. We have drivers back home.
Yeah.
But definitely, I'm not a royalty or something. It's just like my parents owned businesses before in the Philippines, in the province. So like they can afford to have help. But especially they're not at home most of the time. They're in our business. So yeah.
And your parents, they chose to name you Lord.
Yes.
You're
really like...
No, because
I'm trying to segue to that question.
I'm definitely not trying to embarrass you.
No, just kidding.
I will say, like, it's really interesting if you look at different cultures now, because it's almost as if you look at global culture and society right now, we're heading back to like feudalism. We're heading back to like people in different classes and different like statuses. And I had a lot of friends that are Chinese from Hong Kong or Taiwan, where their names were like Kingdom or Queena or Queenie or Kingston. Like, so these are things that are like, they're not too far from Lord. So I totally understand that type of perspective. And I don't think it's meant to be like boisterous or like bombastic. I think it's just like, that'd be cool. Like, I wouldn't mind naming my son Lord.
Yeah.
Or Master.
I think
You're insane, dude.
Yeah, I think like most common names in the Philippines, like Prince.
Yeah.
Like, Regina, like my wife's name is Regina, which means queen, princess or something. But my parents named me Lord. It's not because of that. It's more like religious thing that they basically, believe it or not, and like I haven't really tell this to anyone. Like my mom named me Lord is just because it's basically because we were born and raised as Catholics. Yeah. That they want to offer me to the Lord, like to God, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
And basically, she dreamt for me of actually becoming a priest.
Wow. This is like are you familiar with the book of Samuel, 1st and 2nd Samuel? That's very reminiscent of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it's been called Lord,
So cool.
Now a lot of people will make fun of me because
No, it's a good thing, Chef. Like you are in safe
it's like
company.
very royal, actually. Like
it's
kind of like I don't know. When I heard it, I was like, "Damn, a boss," Like very distinguished.
Yeah, that's the reason why I also hide it. Because when I go to the bar, I hand my credit card to the bartender. They're just gonna ask me, like, "Oh my God, are you really a Lord?" Like, they'll ask the question. Should I buy? Should I bow? I was like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
And give me free drinks.
Yeah. Love that.
Regal couple, Regina and Lord Maynard. That's the last time I'm gonna say it. But Chef, we're bringing you on because you are such a huge influence, not just on Filipino cuisine, but also on the Los Angeles culinary landscape. Because for people that don't know, Chef Maynard here won the Lone California James Beard Award for 2024. We only won one award for the state of California, and it was for best.
Yeah.
Woohoo, indeed.
Dude, that's badass.
It is, and Chef Maynard won the award for California Chef of the Year. And I always like to emphasize to people that as much as people love the world's 51st list and Michelin starred restaurants, those things can actually all be taken away from you. You can fall off the list, you can lose a star, you can like basically just completely fall off. But when you are a James Beard Award winner, you are a James Beard Award winner for life. And yeah, like as someone that lives and breathes Southern California, I was ecstatic when I found out the news. And I'm curious, what was it like for you when you found out that you won the James Beard Award?
I was surprised. Like, it was like really shocked. I was like, how is that possible? You know, like at first when they, you know, like when I heard my name on stage, like watching, because I was like about to clap, like whoever's gonna win. Because I wasn't really, you know.
You weren't expecting.
I wasn't expecting my name, and even like my wife. I remember she's taking a video of, you know, the announcement, and she's like, Lord Maynard. And then when my name was called, like Lord Maynard, there's like, Lord Maynard, Lord Maynard. I was like, that's me. And she's like that's what my wife's reaction. And I was like, it was funny. It's like, I thought at first, like, someone's making fun of me or what? You know, but it was, you know, it's still, it took me at least 2-3 months before it really like sink into me. But I was just like, you know, like I was numb for past, you know, month. Like I'm not like taking it.
Just like in shock almost.
And everyone's like calling me, all my chef friends, mentors, like, you okay? You need help? And they're more nervous, more like, you know, nervous than me. You know?
Why is that? Why do you think they were nervous? Or
they were like, obviously they're happy, you know, like, you know, someone, you know, they feel like they're also win, you know, like
when you win,
they were happy for me. Yes. Yeah. They feel like, you know, like you see the movies, like someone won the Lord or something, like they're like rather like you don't know what to do or something like that.
Yeah.
For me, we're just like, you know, after the awards, we're just actually spend another day in Chicago just to chill, you know, and I'm not even, like I said, it doesn't sink in how big that is.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, it is a really, you know, big privilege. It was for me, you know, like especially for, you know, like Filipino cuisine, and especially I'm only doing fast casual. That's the reason why I didn't expect I was gonna win, because I expected like all my life dining. I was thinking it's, you know, James Beard is like fine dining, you know, all that, you know, heavyweight chefs. And for me, it's like, okay, I'm not really showing, you know, I'm thinking to do a modern Filipino cuisine, but, you know, more sit down and more upscale. Then that's the time that I was, you know, aiming for it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it is well deserved. I think the James Beard Foundation pivoting to fast casual or even like old mom and pop heritage restaurants, like that was a big deal, because that's where I think most people eat at. And the fact that Kuya Lord is accessible to people out on Melrose and East Hollywood, I think that's great. And as you were saying, like it really made a huge impact on an area of the country that already is becoming well known for Filipino cuisine. And so just thinking back on like all the different Filipino restaurants in Southern California, I'm thinking like Mam Sir, which isn't around anymore, unfortunately. Thinking about La Cita, Spoon and Fork, like even Amboy, Chef Alvin Kailan. Like there's so many restaurants in the last 10 years that really have defined the Los Angeles food landscape. They're all Filipino restaurants, or at least run by Filipino chefs. Like what do you make of this? Like, are you like the lead in this effort?
To tell you honestly, I was gonna second you to that. You know, let's go back to like Unit 120. Remember before Amboy, right? Like Alvin Kailan doing egg slot, Charles Olalia start the rice bar, and then Mom Sir. You know, actually, like I respect all those chefs. You know, because opening a even though, you know, like opening Filipino restaurants is not easy. Even if I have, you know, all these accolades and I won, you know, James Beard, but still I'm Filipino cuisine. I still need to push it, But remember when Alvin Kailan did the egg slot, Charles Olalia started his rice bar and do Momser, like it's only them and Lasita, the Lasita boys, Chase and Chad, and Nico. It's just something. It's a hard sell. Filipino food or Filipino restaurant or cuisine is a hard sell. It's just like, but they started the foundation, and like I'm just talking about in LA. They're starting the foundation of Filipino food, like modern food in LA, and like our cuisine start to get noticed. But those times it's harder than what we have. Even though our scenario now, like I am with Lasita is Lasa before. Now Lasita, Spoon and Pork, me, Big Boy, Park's Finest.
That's right. Yeah.
There's, like restaurant industry before is easier than now. But even though like we are, we did these accolades that we're getting, as Filipino chefs, it's still a hard sell that we need to like keep pushing it.
Like what makes it hard? I know you're saying it, but I didn't grow up in California. So for me, I've always had fond memories. Like, I'm from Maryland, fond memories of Filipino food. So for me personally, it's not a hard sell. Maybe because I'm Korean, but what made it difficult in the past? I'm just curious because I'm kind of ignorant to that perception.
So, for example, it's a hard sell. Number one, it's still considered as ethnic food. Sure. Like some people are still scared of like exploring other cuisines.
Right.
It's just. I think we need more representation, but luckily that, like a lot of Filipino young chefs are, getting, noticed. And then now there's a lot of nominated for James Beard even last year. And I'm so proud of them, And it's just because I represent Kuya Lord as my restaurant, but the thing is, it also amplifies to other restaurants, even like small mom and pops, So when they like my food, I hope like for Filipinos or non-Filipinos who like tried my food wants to explore to other, Filipino restaurant as well. So to answer your question, in Maryland, there's not a lot of really. I'm not sure. Never been to Maryland.
Not too many. Yeah.
Not too many Filipino restaurants. And number two is there's maybe like a lot of options for restaurants in general.
Correct.
Versus in LA, man, you want Korean barbecue?
Yeah.
Like it's hard to pick which one, right?
Yeah.
Go to like, Italian restaurant, steakhouse. But when's the last time you thought of having a birthday party or like celebrating or hanging out in a Filipino restaurant?
If you're Filipino, you'll think about it.
I mean,
maybe.
I also hear a lot of Filipino friends say that my parents.
So I'm also guilty with this.
Yeah.
I'm also guilty with this. Maybe once in a while.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if I go for a holiday or like a birthday party holiday, where we usually go?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna, like shoot a lot of like, people, sorry, who's gonna, got hit for this. Like, as for me, like whenever I, like we go to birthday parties or like we celebrate celebration, we go to Chinese restaurant or like we go to Italian restaurant, American restaurant. But often we'll go to Filipino restaurant.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that's one of the cases.
What I found, like growing up in Southern California, and correct me if it's completely different in Maryland, but most people's perception of Filipino food is it's heat lamps. Like it's kind of food is laid out buffet style.
Yeah.
And you basically pick what you want, and they'll put it in a box with the rice, maybe some pancit. I need to take a drink, and look what we have here. We have some case.
Here you go.
That was smooth. I know. Dang, that was smooth. Our drink sponsor, Case. Yo, shout out Case, bro.
Case saving me from choking to death.
Honestly, wow, that was slick. Hey, respect to Mark. For
Totally not planned.
Oh, wow.
Like I said, there's this perception of a heat lamp food, and then I think you can do a whole academic critique of like colonized mindset, where some Filipinos feel like not only do my parents or my grandparents make better food at home, but this food, like we only eat it for family gatherings. If we're going out, we want to eat something different.
Yes.
Right. So was it like that in Maryland? And maybe like Chef can help us understand what Filipinos food is like in the Philippines.
It's the same.
Yeah. I mean, well, okay. I actually experienced more Filipino restaurants in Atlanta. I lived in Atlanta for 8 years. In Maryland, I just had Filipino friends and I ate
at home.
Their home, their auntie or their mom's
They cook it
food.
at home, you know.
Yeah, and I always enjoy
and
it.
I have like, there's like, I know, like, we can discuss that more further about people thinking about, oh, I can cook that at home.
It's not true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true, but it's not the way
not everyone
I cook
can
it.
do it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But since you're from the Philippines, like, for a lot of just normal restaurants or places that even locals would go in your hometown, would you get the same heat lamp experience? Because I don't think either of us have.
No, not really. Because usually, like all those mom and pop restaurant, like there's like certain like there's a restaurant that you specialize does noodles. You know, they cook it everything to order. You know, but obviously like the adobo, if you're going, yes, those are like, you know, heat lamp kind of like situation. Yeah. So I think that's the reason why, because there's no heat lamp, by the way. It's gonna be like on like one big pot.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they just like scooping it and put it in your plate. You know, they just like, you know, like redo the whole thing instead of like showing you the big pot of like adobo or like stew. They're just putting it on a sheet tray in a heat lamp because it's part of the health, you know, requirements.
Yeah. But
Requirement.
I honestly had no idea for sure because I haven't been to the Philippines until you just explained it. But it sounds like what you would find in Korea or where my parents are from, Taiwan or in China.
Yeah.
Like that's how food is across Asia and most of the world. How would you define Filipino food, at least from your perspective as a chef and owner of Kuya Lord? And even like you mentioned that the James Beard Award was in Chicago. I'm sure you've been to Kasama, the Michelin starred. I think it's the only Michelin starred Filipino restaurant in the world, from what I understand.
Yes.
Yeah, and their concept is very, I would say, fusion.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, we can also tackle that, you know, about authenticity and traditional. You know, there's like I have my own, you know, answer for that. It's just like, you know, different chefs, they have their own household, right? Like I'm talking about Filipino chefs. And this is the beauty about our Filipino cuisine. It's not only Filipino cuisine or even, you know, Italian cuisine or French cuisine. It's just, you know, let's just go through it, right? Because some Filipinos like, oh, it's not traditional or it's not the way we do it at home, you know? But, you know, like, for example, Kasama, Lasita, and Kuya Lord or Spoon and Pork, it's just because even like, you know, I was born and raised in the Philippines, right? But every Philippine household in the Philippines, they have their own recipe of adobo. And also, they have their own palate. So, like, meaning like if someone comes to Kuya Lord and say like, oh, it's not authentic, it's not traditional, you know, it's not the way adobo should be. By the way, I haven't really showed my adobo in my restaurant.
Oh.
Yeah. And there's an explanation with that. But I'm saying,
Okay.
So it's just because, you know, like you have you know, it's not because you have, you know, a different perception of what adobo is or lumpia, because that's you have a different way of doing it in your home is that's the only way you do it.
Yeah.
So it's the same way about Chef Nico of Placita. You know, he was born and raised here. You know, his parents like cooking their Filipino food in America. Obviously, that's his upbringing.
Yeah.
And that's his remembrance of his childhood. The same thing with Kasama, they were born and raised here. Obviously, there is same thing with Chef Nico. His technique is based from American, like fundamentals, French, Italian. The same thing with Kasama, right? So, but like every chef has their own story of their menu, but the main core here is who is cooking on it of that dish. Is it that person a real Filipino?
Okay.
Like he's, as long as someone is Filipino, that he just like showcasing his childhood memories of a Filipino dish. I think we should, as a Filipino, like respect that and understand about how he created it, because as a chef, the menu is a story of like my life, of my childhood favorite, and also like my life in America. If you understand that and trying to eat my food, you'll understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty about food and about, understanding, not just being you want to fill up your belly.
Sure.
It's the same thing with Kasama, like his technique is on, like on fine dining, and also that's the way he remembers his, childhood, Filipino upbringing.
Yeah.
For sure.
So,
Speaking of like the training, in addition to the upbringing, coming from the Philippines, from Lucena, is your
Lucena,
hometown?
Quezon, yes.
And then coming all the way to New York to train at the prestigious Culinary Institute at Hyde Park. I think that's like
Yes.
the apex of American culinary tradition. And working at Bestia and a number of different restaurants. Like how has that influenced your cooking? Because you're as authentic Filipino as it gets. Like you are of the Philippines, from the Philippines, and you have authentic memories from your own hometown, and
Yes.
you are learning French and Italian and American techniques. How do you kind of like bring that all together?
Well, how to figure out? So moving from the Philippines to America, it's a huge culture shock,
Yeah.
Because you have to understand that I never work in the Philippines. I never cook in the Philippines. I never do anything.
Wow.
Right.
I'm like 100% spoiled brat.
Wow.
And then coming to America and decided to, have a life here. So I know everything is going to change. My life is totally like upside down. So I accepted that, So I don't know how to cook. I went to culinary school. That's why I went to school. But my goal is to open a restaurant. But back then, what kind of concept? I don't know yet.
Oh.
Like
I don't know yet. I just wanted to I want to study the culinary in America. Number one, to get a visa.
It's important.
It's very important. And then after I graduate, hopefully someone will sponsor me, do a sponsorship. Luckily, like when I moved to LA, I work under Neil Fraser. Like back then he owns Grace. So Neil Fraser owns Redbird now.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm really lucky. And also, when I had an interview with Neil, I didn't know how big his name or like celebrity chef he is.
For sure.
Like I don't even know Spago back then. You have to think, I'm like really like the real example of being a fob. Fresh off the boat. Coming to America, going to school, have no clue about, like life, like what's going on here.
Yeah.
So after I graduated in CIA, moved to LA, my first interview, the first call that I have for an interview is a executive chef from Spago, which I didn't even know. And it was like, I was like, what, 26, 27? I'm not too young anymore, but I'm really like, so like clueless.
Yeah.
So like the chef's like, okay, I'll go, I set up the interview, and even he asked me, he's like, do you even know
Who I am?
No. Do you even know this restaurant?
Yeah.
Spago? It's like, no, chef. Like, you better go check out online before coming.
Yeah.
And then when I saw, it's like, when I saw it online, it's just like, it just showed all these celebrities already. It's like, I'm already like, oh,
A little nervous.
Where am I?
Yeah.
What am I? Yeah. So, yeah.
With a lot of people in the culinary industry, especially cooks that are developing the chefs, people bounce around a lot.
Yes.
I read one story, and I'm not sure if it's true. Maybe you can confirm it. Is it true that there was a short stint where you worked at a Jollibee in Norwalk, California?
It's not short stint. It's like, what, 1.5 years, 2 years?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
As a line cook, or
it's everything, because like a crew member is like, you can do anything, right? Okay. From cashier, you go to the burgers, you go to the chicken, you can wash dishes, you do everything,
And you were even the Jollibee mascot for the Norwalk side.
I did.
Incredible.
You have no idea. I told you, my life went from a spoiled brat to like mopping floors, right?
Yeah.
So because I came here to America because I want to learn on my own. And that's why I decided, because it's impossible for me to really do that. Because like for a spoiled brat, like think about, you have a maid, you think, hey, let me do your job because I want to learn.
Impossible. Yeah.
No,
not doing that.
Right? So like, and like back then, I want to learn, I want to work, but I'm not allowed to work in another business.
Sure.
I need to work in our business, but I don't want to do it. So that's the reason why I moved to America. And back then, the minimum is like $6.25 an hour.
Yeah.
So like, number one, I enjoyed, because it's like my very first job, right? I enjoyed working as a crew member. At least I learning something, and then get it buy to buy. I was like paycheck to paycheck. The reason why I did the mascot is because I'm really like hungry. I want to learn everything. So it's like, maybe I should try it. And also, like if because remember, minimum is $6.25, and if you did the mascot for a party, it's like, I think $8.75 per hour.
Yeah.
So I'll
Nice
do
pump.
that, just extra.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the reason why I did it.
Wow. So I'm sure you must have good dance moves then.
Oh my God, I don't even know how to dance, but I figured it out.
Yeah, that's great. So, like, just going from Spago to Jollibee, like, you've had? It sounds like you've had like every different type of restaurant experience. What are some of the deepest impressions you've had about just the American dining experience, and how you craft that now as the owner and chef of Kuya Lord?
So after I graduated CIA, because my main goal is, because I'm really goal oriented. I like to plan. It's like part of my planning is like, okay, what's my ultimate goal? Then what's going to be my 10-year goal, 5-year goal, and my 1-year goal. And then, so I can like see myself where I'm at. So I can need to try to push myself, and also like motivate myself, because I know the job is hard. There's no money. So like, why am I still keep doing it, right? So I need to see a big picture of where I'm heading. So my goal is to, number one, after I graduate, is to get a sponsorship, get a green card, so I can stay in America legally, and I can work. And then so I work in an American I work in American restaurant. A contemporary American restaurant, Italian restaurant, French restaurant. It's just because I want to learn the basics and fundamentals and apply what I learned from school, and apply it to the restaurant concept. And also like learning more about the cuisine, the techniques, and teaching myself about the ingredients here in America, the palate,
Yeah.
So I went to French restaurant just to, like the same way. So basically I stay there for like 2-3 years. I don't like jump every 2 months that I think I already learned, because for me it's like I'm not get paid a lot. I'm get paid minimum, but I'm investing to myself how to feel to become the owner. I want to learn from my mentors, the chef owners of the restaurant I work with. Like how do they think? How do they work? How do they keep their stamina? All these things, like small steps. Because like jumping in this career won't get you anywhere. It needs to get that proper training and process, because it's not. So that's how I started. Like keeping my skills and put my head down. The best thing I learned from this process is having patience and humility, because every time it will test you. Like sometimes there's a lot of failures in the process that I always think about to put myself up or motivate me. I always think like you need to be more patient. And then I work in the, for example, grill station. I worked there for like 10 years, 15 years. And I thought I know everything. And then sometimes I was gonna like, I'm gonna mess up.
Yeah.
So like the way of thinking here, then like slam all the way back down, and I have to go back and it hurts. So like that's where your humility, you need to be like, you need to keep down, because like there's more things for you to learn. Even until now, I still keep on learning.
Yeah.
And because of that, actually I overweighted. I waited for so long to open my restaurant. So when I worked with Ori at Bestia, I stayed there for 4.5 years. So, but when during the interview process, I told him I want to open my restaurant, and he said, "Okay, you help me run Bestia for 2 years, and then you open your restaurant."
You were talking about how you were working for Ori Menashe, Ori Menashe at Bestia, and you said that you wanted to open a restaurant, and then he was like, "Great, help me with Bestia for 2 years, and then you can do your thing." And then something happened.
So, for 2 years, but like I enjoyed so much working at Bestia that I learned the day-to-day, work there is like a learning experience. It's like different scenarios, different curveballs, and it's fun. And also the camaraderie and, this intense, because like you're doing like what, 400, 500 covers a night.
Wow, that's crazy.
Working 17 hours a day. It's like, this is it. I feel like, like also working with Ori is like, he's just a beast, like nonstop. Wow. So like I want to put myself to him, because I want to copy like the way he does his restaurant and the way he runs business. So in order for me to do my own, I want to see like how did he figure that out?
Right.
Because I feel like during that time it's like, man, I still can't figure it out. Sure. Like, and there's more creativity to learn, like the flavors that he's putting on his dishes. For me, it's like there's a lot for me to like gather. So like in my head, I'm not ready. After 2 years, he was like, "Bro, you're ready. You need to do it." You just do it. It's like I always tell the chef, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. You know, and then after like 4.5 years, like, bro, you're getting old. You're getting old. You need to do it.
Chef Ori was like, time to go.
Leave, bro. Leave
You have to leave. You have to do it. You need to do like you need to open a Filipino restaurant. Because during that time I was also developing my Filipino menu, like dishes. I was creating. I'm so lucky that, you know, like Ori let me create those you know, like experiments, like my Filipino modern Filipino food in his kitchen, you know.
Wow.
Like he even allowed me to order the proteins and all that at the restaurant.
That's
Like,
and
did
then
you
we will
earn
try
that?
it. Huh?
Or like, do you feel like you earned that to get him to trust in you, or like he just saw something in you?
I mean,
because you worked hard,
because
or like-
he does that to everyone. It's not only me, but because that's how great guy he is. Is like, you know, he knows that the success he have, but one of his dreams is like eventually, you know, like his cooks or chefs, like eventually in the future will have their own too, you know. So he's very, very, until now, like any like people who he worked with and shared their dreams, he's there to, you know, support them to succeed.
And it seems like he boasts in having these great chefs pass through his training and his leadership.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's very like
You see, like how many of us already have their own restaurants or even have a name in the industry, you know?
like who I don't know people that like want to share that knowledge and like pass it on, you know. It takes a lot of humility to be that kind of person.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
I'm sure, you know, like most chefs that Ori is like one of them, obviously, you know. But it's just like it's nice to have you know, like a mentor like that.
Sure.
You know.
Are there other chefs besides Chef Ori that you look up to or model your career after? And are there any chefs that you want to collaborate with? Because I think if there would be a Kuya Lord Bestia collaboration one day, I think
that would be great.
It would be insane. I think people would love it.
That would be great. But let's go back to like chefs I'm looking.
Yeah.
You know, before, like, you know, like with Walter, like, because I respect them a lot because of their work ethic. It's not because it's not they're only talented, but they're also like dedication to the craft and also dedication to work. Because of that, it's just maybe, you know, they're not there day to day to like really hold your hand or guide you, but because of their, you know, like hard work and in their, you know, the way they do, I mean, showing up and become a leader is like a big influence, you know, at least for me.
So like the dedication to like
the
presenting
business,
dishes or creating
food.
recipes,
Yes. Yeah.
creating-
And then you see them there. They'll be there, like, for example, Republic, Walter and Marge, you know. I actually, after Bessie, I worked with at Republic for 2 months just to see and
Just for
pick up
fun?
the
You were
head.
trying to absorb the entire
Of
LA
course.
culinary scene.
Yeah.
This is
boy's trying to-
incredible.
Like you're a student of the game.
I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
everywhere. It also, like, I want to hang out with them. I want to see how they work, how they do their business, you know. But seeing them day to day, you know, like those rush hours and like, you know, opening restaurant in the Philippines, you know, they have, you know, at least 19 to 21 restaurants in the Philippines.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
It's amazing. And then doing, you know, running a successful, you know, restaurant in LA is amazing. So seeing that is just like, you know, like I want to see how they do it, you know. Seeing Marge, I'll see her, like she will go to the restaurant and bake like around 3 a.m. to 4 a.m., you know.
Wow.
And she's not going to go home until 5, and knowing that they have kids, obviously she still need to attend kids, you know.
Crazy.
It's amazing.
Well, how do you stay inspired nowadays? Now that you've been doing this for a long time, like,
I mean,
what are things you like to do to like keep?
there's
inspiration?
more things that I want. Like when I come to America, I want to open a restaurant. When I envision my first restaurant, actually, it's a fine dining. I just pivot it to fast casual because I've been doing it for years, and that's the only thing I know how to do it.
Yeah.
To open a restaurant, like more upscale restaurant, fine dining restaurant. But let's be real, it's a lot of investment, and also the ROI is gonna take you a while.
Yeah.
Not unless you are Ori Minaj, that you can turn the business for a year.
Yeah.
And get the investors paid, then
Yeah.
we're just regular restaurants. It's gonna take you 5 or maybe never get your money back, right?
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I did the fast casual, because it's a small risk, and also like it can run by itself, and it can be multiplied.
Yeah.
Very
Easily.
practical.
Very practical, especially after the pandemic.
Yeah.
I think I did this just because when we have a lockdown again, knock on wood, right? I can just sell to go.
Yeah.
True.
So
Did you know that the area where Kuya Lord opened was going to be a hot culinary area, like Melrose
No.
Hills? Because it's become one of the trendiest places to
yes,
eat in LA.
the reason why I choose the spot in Melrose, actually, I just choose it just number one is that's the time that all the businesses are coming back, and I don't want to be left out.
Yeah.
So, but also number two is I never met the landlord that time yet, but my broker just explained to me about the goal for that area. Melrose Western. It's just a scary area.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not the Melrose that people
It's
think.
not. It's not the
the other
Melrose
side.
that you really want to hang out.
Yeah.
It's just and then when my broker told me about the vision of the landlord, that he wants to like bring he wants restaurants, not just restaurants, just like a new restaurant row like Fairfax or like Beverly Boulevard, right? Like new upcoming like cool restaurants to evolve in that area, and also like with the art galleries are coming up. They want to like bring people from West Hollywood or like in downtown to to go and eat in that area, and hopefully that Melrose Hill will change a little bit. Instead of just kind of like like that kind of mentality of like, oh, I don't want to go there because it's kind of sketchy, something like that. Then that's the new trend of like it's okay, it's okay even though there's no parking. I'm telling you, it's hard to get there until now, but eventually when we have more restaurants, there's more like we'll figure out a way.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that where the area is now, versus like 2 years ago. But yeah, then that's the reason why I choose that, because when we open in 2022, we already have a brand.
Got it.
And also like I know other restaurant will trust that if Kuya Lord go there, why not them?
Yeah.
It's gonna be the new trend.
Yeah.
So
You were saying like Kuya Lord essentially started as a project you were doing during COVID, and you were just selling.
no. Like remember, I already this project I've been cooking this for 20 years.
Oh, so like
I already
You've been
like
developing it
remember
actually for a
I'm
long time.
developing the menu during I was at Bestia.
You're at Bestia.
So I'm
trying it.
So I remember like I was working on these restaurants to learn the concepts, the foundation of the cuisine, the techniques, and also learning how to catch those curveballs. I'm investing myself to learn on how to open a restaurant with these great restaurants. And then I I left my last job as culinary director because I used to run
H-Wood Group, right?
H-Wood Group, yes.
Yeah.
I used to run, a culinary program for them at H-Wood. I left in 2019 because that's the time I reached 40.
Oh.
Because when I was 36, I told you earlier, I'm really goal-oriented. So I told you when I was 36, I told myself that when I reach 50, I'm going to stop cooking. But I'm not going to stop running restaurants. But because I know my hands, my body is going to, I cannot do the way I do things when I was 36 years old.
Yeah.
So when I reach 40, that's the time I decide, okay, that's enough. I've been opening restaurants nationwide. I mean, I have to do what I supposed to do. That's the reason why I choose, to leave the company to open Kuya Lord. But 2020 happened. Thank God I did not sign up for a lease.
Yeah.
Everything shut down. And then when I was at home, and I never really stayed at home. So I'm really restless and I still want to work. And also we're running out of food of groceries. So I told my wife, why don't I just build a kitchen out of my garage so I can make a reason to buy big refrigerators
Right.
and freezers so I can stock up. So I can call my purveyors, meat purveyors, produce. I'm just gonna fill my refrigeration.
Yeah.
Just to have food for my family. And at the same time, I'm gonna do R&D. And then my friends in the industry, because I was posting on Instagram because I have nothing to do, right? They found out I was cooking at home. Then that start.
Wow.
They start picking up food and it becomes a pop-up.
Wow, so wild. Out of your own garage.
Out of my own garage, then infatuation came.
Yeah.
I thought they're just gonna eat, right? And then now suddenly I had a review, then LA Times.
Yeah.
So that's how it become known to everyone.
Chef, you mentioned that you've been lucky in different parts of this conversation, but to me it sounds like you're what they say, you make your own luck, where your preparation and your patience pays off even in really bad circumstances, like COVID happening.
Yes.
If you had signed a lease, that would have been really bad, but your preparation and your own timing ended up working out for the best.
Yes.
I think that's such an inspiring story for any type of entrepreneur.
Yes.
I think a lot of people, they want to make the leap, but they don't know when, and they're second guessing themselves.
I think it's just the right timing.
Yeah.
And also the right mindset and training. Because I think I got lucky. It's just the thing is when I really decide, okay, I'm ready to open my restaurant, I'm overripe. I kind of opened several different kinds of concept restaurants, and I kind of and it helps me basically really know what I want and how I gonna do it.
I see.
And precisely.
You spent so many years
yes, with others people's money, learning all this craft.
You're growing deep roots.
Yes. And so when I really okay, I'm about to open, because I already know how the process, all this, build a kitchen, I already have the recipes. I know how to train people. But obviously there's tweaking and things like that, but that's the easiest part of it, But being overripe, I learned how to solve problems before it happened. I have to make my system dump proof in my kitchen, in my restaurant, because I've seen it before. So
you're advanced,
I did,
bro.
it's not advanced. It's just I said. It's just it's just through experience.
Yeah.
And then obviously COVID happened. Obviously that's a curveball that we never
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
all coming.
Yeah, I didn't expect it.
Yes, and then all these taxes going up,
Yeah.
tariffs
Yeah.
going up. So those are things that unexpected that we just need to be creative.
Yeah.
For sure.
With also catching curveballs, right? So it, like I become like more tough, like all catching all those problems and fixing the problems. Like it's just you need to be relaxed. If you are a chef that has no experience and you think like, okay, they can do it, I'm just gonna open my restaurant and have just like small slightest problems or issues. What are you gonna do? You're gonna run? You're gonna like quit? How about the people that works for you?
Yeah.
The people who's like relying on the paychecks.
Yeah.
Those are also responsibility that you need to think of.
Sure.
Not only for your family or yourself, but you need to make sure that the people who works with you are also are covered,
Yeah.
well taken care of, because at the end of the day, their situation, they're probably like paycheck to paycheck. They just rely on, the pay every 2 weeks. They have, money to pay their rent, for food or, all those things. So it, the meaning is like, that's the reason why I told you there's no jumping or like as an instant you can be like, a chef.
Yeah.
Or like a restaurant owner. It needs time. It needs to have training. It needs a proper mental, you need to prepare yourself mentally, financially, emotionally, physically, There's
Lifestyle.
It is a lifestyle,
So going back to your restaurant, which we're actually going to be privileged to be able to dine at soon after this conversation. What are your favorite items on the menu? And like, are there? Because I think Filipino cuisine is interesting in that there's the colonial elements, there's also pre-colonial elements. So what are you putting into your menu that like showcases the different aspects of Filipino food that you love? Because you were saying that it's the type of food that you enjoyed eating when you were younger.
Yeah. So the story of my menu is the story of my childhood favorites. So it's just like people ask me a lot, like, what's your favorite in the menu? I was like, that's a wrong question, because that everything that in the menu is my favorite.
There's a story, yeah.
That's the story behind it.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, what do you want to eat today that is in the menu, then I can tell you what's my craving. But I represent my food as well that, you cannot really, like, as for me, like, it's hard for me to pick. I think it's just like you need just for Filipino, if you are new to Filipino cuisine, as a beginner, you just need to like pick, like, for example, one thing at a time and enjoy it,
Like a meat
but
dish.
we are mostly, they known, the dish that are really known to us is the lechon, which is
Delicious.
the name that I created. So it's a version of Filipino lechon and Italian lechon.
Okay.
Porchetta. Italian porchetta.
Okay.
So put them together. The technique of Italian porchetta in, the looks of lechon. Yeah. I called it lechon because, number one, I'm doing Southern Tagalog cuisine. I'm doing specific region in the Philippines where I was born and raised. It's just, and also because the pork belly lechon is originated from Cebu. It's another region and city in the Philippines. But because I put my influence in it, and it's not really a Cebuchon, so also I don't want other Filipinos will say, oh, it's not Cebuchon or something.
That's not. Yeah.
That's why I called it. It's Lucena-chon, because I'm from Lucena City. That's where I was born and raised, and I'm not from Cebu.
Yeah.
So that's why I called it Lucena-chon.
Cool.
The funny part is, like, if you're not, it's the first time you eat lechon, or Filipino food, and you come to my restaurant. So people thinks that, Lucena Chon is called. Yeah.
But it's only at Kuya Lord. You can't find it anywhere else.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, that's
They can copy the look, but they can copy the soul.
Oh, okay.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And this is more a fun question that Filipino chef friend wanted me to ask you. If you had to pick between only using onion or garlic, which would you use? Because those are such strong flavors in Filipino cuisine.
I like garlic.
Yeah, that makes sense. Garlic.
I love garlic too. Oh my gosh.
And then before we have a special gift for you at the end, I had a personal question that I think is probably among the more challenging questions among Filipino chefs. It's that among all the different Asian cuisines and other types of cuisines, a lot of people are wary about Filipino cuisine because they feel like it's too fatty.
Yes.
Like, I remember there's a specific dish. It's like chicken bulaklak.
Yes.
Where I remember, at least my first time biting into it, I was like, my heart skipped a beat for not good reasons. And how do you deal with that? Because again, having eaten at Kuya Lord, I love your food. Like Lucena Chan, it gave me that, what was that? Like mouse, like ratatouille.
Oh, ratatouille?
It gave me that ratatouille moment where I was like, wow, I've never had anything like this before. How do you deal with that perception where like Filipino food is considered unhealthy?
So when I open my modern Filipino restaurant, then you'll see the different look of Filipino food.
Okay, so this is a to be continued.
Oh,
Yeah. No, to answer that is yes. So you have to think. That's a good thing about me. Was born and raised there, and like now I'm old. First of all, let's go back. The reason why I'm doing regional cuisine is I want to introduce Filipino cuisine for non-Filipinos, that there's more exciting dishes or Filipino dishes that for non-Filipinos to try and to learn, rather than just adobo, sinigang, lumpia, and then also for them that Filipino cuisine exists. That it's not because we are, like a lot, like we've been conquered by Spain, like Japan went there, Americans, and then we have influence with Chinese, Thailand, and India because of the trade. We have, like specialties in different regions that you can only see that in our provinces. And then for them to explore and for them to get get curious about, and hopefully they enjoy it, right? And also number two is going to your question, like, oh, Filipino food is fatty and stuff. Because most of our dishes we use more on the pork. We're lack of beef, and also that's the reason why I'm doing regional, because different regions, they have their own terroir. Because you have to think, like, some provinces are like from the mountain province, right? Like for me, I'm lucky that we have mountain and we have the sea. So we have seafood. And also we are abundant of coconuts. So we use a lot of coconut products. Coconut braces. We even have coconut vodka, So, and also because we have mountains, land, and sea, we also have vegetables that grows there. So it depends on what region or province you go. That's what you're gonna get. If you're in the mountain, then probably you're gonna have chicken, more pork, or some kind of vegetables. But when you're coming from my province, we have fish, mostly grilled fish, ceviches, all that. And probably what you see here in America is, like I said, it's only like the common specialties, like adobo,
like silog.
Silog, all that, and which is all heavy. But the thing is, those are like the more comfort food that most Filipino eat here.
It's what they miss from back home.
That's what you miss back home. But that's the reason why I want to show, even my noodles is different. My pancit is different than any other pancit that you see here in America.
Yeah.
Because mine is really like from my province.
Yeah.
But obviously cooked or done my way.
That's so cool.
But the reasoning why it's heavy and fatty, because we also serve rice. You have to think, back in the day, during the war times, Filipino are, like skinny and stuff. So we are abundant with rice fields. So we have rice. And then actually, if you're in the Philippines, if you are fat or you're gaining fat, it's a good thing. Actually, they will tell you, oh, you're gaining fat. You're gaining weight. Meaning you're doing well. Meaning if you're gaining weight, you mean you're rich.
Yeah.
If you're skinny, you're poor.
Yeah.
So that's why that's the mentality back home. If you so when a Filipino or like an fresh off the boat Filipino tell you like, oh, you're gaining weight, that means it's
a compliment.
It's a compliment.
You must be doing well.
You're doing well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because you eat a lot.
Yeah. I'm gonna use that from now on.
Because I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
You're gaining weight.
You're gaining weight. Like you look good. You're gaining weight.
They're happy to see it. They're like, whoa.
And here it's like, oh, you're losing weight. It's a compliment.
You look
For
good,
us, dude, you're not eating, bro. So and also there's a lot of way. Even though we use a lot of pork bellies or pork or like meat, there's a lot of ways to nowadays how to like balance it out. Serve it, instead of serving rice, you can serve it with salad. Like that's so funny because when my very first pop-up, because I like to I like to enjoy how I do my Filipino food. So sometimes I like to think of like I wanna piss some people off for not serving rice. So during my very first couple of pop-ups, dinner pop-ups, because I want modern cuisine, right? I never serve rice.
Wow.
And I have like caldereta, like shore ribs or like lamb, and they're really good and rich. But I serve it with
rice.
I serve it with potatoes or salad.
Yeah.
So like make it like more modern, like Americanized, right? But I'm gonna give you a nostalgia of home. That's the main point of it. So for me, when I'm cooking my food here at Kuya Lord, it is traditional, but I did not say that that's my grandma's recipe. My goal is to like bring you the story of home, your childhood memories, the nostalgia, and that's all I care. I'm not telling you is it authentic. Well, you're in America. You answer that question. How can you make an authentic without all the right ingredients that
That's a great point.
or the recipe? All you can do is recreate that memory that you eat it at home, and that's all for me. That's enough, authenticity. But during my first, like pop-ups, I never served rice, and some like my titas, like some of my friends, like, "Where's the rice?" It's like, bro, finish the meal and you tell me if you need the rice. So I just, I just want them to see that, we're living in America that sometimes we don't, in a day that we don't eat rice. It's not because you're eating Filipino food, you need to eat rice. Just because we eat rice 3 times a day, that's me. It's. But after 2-3 days without eating rice, I get grumpy.
Yeah. I think
That's for sure.
us too.
Yeah. Same for us.
Yeah.
Well, Chef, I mean, I feel like we learned so much about the history of Filipino food and your personal journey as a chef and restaurateur. And I have to say, I love how everyone goes on Yelp. I love how you guys respond to your critics.
That's her.
Oh, that's
her.
Oh,
Very difficult job.
yeah. I think one of the most recent responses, it's like, we respect your opinion, but we're doing stuff for the community. What are you doing? I feel like that's real.
Oh, what a
That's real.
great response.
Yes.
Well done, Chef.
Thank you.
Chef.
Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah. But Chef, again, thank you so much for coming on to the show. Before we end, we have a gift for you.
Oh, wow.
A special limited edition hat.
We have our own hat.
Perfect.
1 second.
Perfect. Now I'm going to wear it.
Hey, okay.
There you go.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Hey, it
This
kind
is
of matches
great,
the outfit too.
man.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go. Okay. You
This
might need
is-
to expand it. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But this is only for our first season guests.
Thank you.
Thank you
Wow.
so much for
Welcome.
joining
Thanks for
us.
being here.
Thank you.
And we have 3 questions we always like to finish off.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, I mean, the first question is, where do you consider home geographically?
Home?
Home. Where's home for you now?
Home is where my family is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And your family, all right.
So here, like, we live in LA. So this is where my home now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When people visit your home, which is LA right now, what's one restaurant or place that you love bringing people where you're like, you have to eat here?
Man,
Besides Kuya Lord, of course.
that's crazy. I just got a question. I got that question for Open Table.
Oh.
And also
Which I saw
shout
the
out.
email. It came to my email randomly, like
Is
before
it?
I interviewed you. Yeah, it's like,
It's just crazy. So I have multiple options, but obviously, like, there's no right and wrong.
of course.
Like, because I got, like, some people didn't get it, or, like, got bashed. So if I'm going to eat in only one restaurant,
Just one. Yeah.
oh man, it's like I said, it just depends on my craving.
How about 3? Because we literally have had guests list
3?
out 10.
How about
before,
like my
so-
wife, huh? Oh, you have to go to Jitlada.
Okay.
Oh,
Classic.
yeah.
Chef
Jitlada.
Chetty, Chef Tila's restaurant. Okay.
No,
Oh,
that's
it's
not
not
Chetty.
That's not the wrong one.
Yeah,
No,
Oh,
that-
Jitlada is in Thai Town, right?
Thai Town.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's your favorite Thai
Southern.
restaurant.
I mean, that's my favorite Thai. Well, I'm not. Well, I have like multiple.
Sure.
Depends.
Yeah.
For classic
They have a
Thai,
huge menu,
Jitlada,
right?
they have huge menu.
Huge menu. It's like many pages.
I will go to Anjak if we want modern Thai.
Oh, okay.
But
Also,
Where
James
should
Beard
I
Award
go?
winner.
James Beard Award winner. Where else? Mini Kebab
Oh, Glendale.
in Glendale.
Ooh.
You have to go there. Obviously, like tacos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like if there's like someone who's like first time in LA, I will bring them to eat tacos.
Yeah. Any
Yeah.
taco spot?
What's the name of that spot? Taco spot in Sawtell.
One in
Yeah.
Sawtell. Okay.
Okay.
I forgot. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Obviously, you have to go to Bavel. Even though
Yeah.
it's always my friend.
Classic.
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously, Bestia. I'm selling a lot now.
No, it's great.
What else should I go? I go for sushi. We go to Sugarfish from time to time.
Sugarfish. Let's
Okay.
go. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah. So where else? For Chinese, we have a lot of Chinese. What's your favorite this time right now? Obviously, Filipino restaurants. You have to go restaurants. I go Spoon and Pork.
Yes.
The Park's Finest. Need to support Lasita.
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Boy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And with our last question, what is currently a song that you're listening to that's like at the top of your playlist?
I really.
Is there one, is there one that you're
I'm
listening
just like random, like really nothing so funny. That's the only this time around when I'm in the radio, just like listening to news.
Oh, okay.
Part of getting old, right? But songs,
or it could be an old song. It doesn't have to
usually it's either 80s,
Okay.
be- okay.
80s songs. Mostly, it depends on my mood, right? but usually I do, Tagalog like 80s, 90s, OPM. But if I recently, like I start going back to my my OG like 80s to like Toto, like Africa, all that. Yeah.
Okay.
You said Africa, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
legendary song.
Right?
Big fan. I'm a big fan. Yeah.
Or like songs of Pralipo Lipi.
Okay.
You guys know those? Don't like old.
Vaguely. Vaguely.
I do not. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very cool.
Or sometimes with like the Bruno Mars, like the kids actually the one who dictates like what we listen
Oh, your children.
mostly. Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool. Well, Chef, where can people find you online and your restaurant?
Our restaurant is located in 5003 Melrose Avenue, Los Angeles. It's in the corner of Melrose and Western.
All the chefs that have come on the show,
I know they know all the
exactly what their
addresses.
addresses.
It's so wild.
Chef Tway from DD
Yeah.
was the only other person that knew the exact address of her establishment. So it makes sense the chefs would know. And then where can people find you online?
Online, you can check us out on IG. We usually if we have like something new in a restaurant or like we're doing specials or events, we usually post it on Facebook and IG. And then they can also order online at kuyalord.com.
There we go.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
All right. Make sure you get some Kuya Lord,
Yes.
guys.
And also, sorry, just one more thing. Stay tuned. We're posting on IG for our 3rd year anniversary. I think I'm doing a backyard barbecue with some DJ and then some karaoke.
Okay.
Yeah, so you guys are invited.
Oh,
Yeah, come by.
Thank
So
you.
just check us out.
I was
We'll be
hoping
there.
we'd get
Yeah.
an invite. I was hoping.
Yes. Just check us out. Our invitation
All right.
on IG.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Chef Lord Maynard Llera, thank you so much for coming on Local Gods, and we'll see you on our next episode.
Awesome.
See you later.
Thank you.
Peace. Bye.